part 15. So here you go guys, I just wanted to show you the internal core of the hat, and you can see the block in the middle, and then we've got these sort of 1x4 with the studs on, which will be covered, I'm sure. The base was that bronzy coloured base plate, and it fitted on top of the blue and the black 4x8s. In fact, it was the other way around, like the two plates fitted at the bottom, if you know what I mean. Yeah, he says. But yeah, nice and solid again, not going anywhere, just thought I'd show you. Right, I'm going to talk about preferences again, and again, it's only me, so remember, I haven't got the brains to build this set, so it's nothing against what Albo's done. I'm just going to show here what I don't like, and I don't. You've got the frame built up, as you can see, and then you have to add basically the 1x4 and then the 4x4 plates. But when you push your plate or your 1x4, because there's nothing behind, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? Everything just pushes through, so you've got to be really, really tactful and careful for how you push your plates on, and the gap really isn't big enough to get your finger down to hold as you compress your plate. I'm assuming, again, I am only assuming, that the gap has been left to save on bricks, maybe less bricks, less price. Again, I'm only guessing, but for me, I think if you're going to do it right. Again, I'll say it again, listen to me, it's only my opinion. I didn't make it. Abe made it this way, or Albo I should say, I keep calling him Abe. Nothing against him, and I think it's a great mock, but for me, it just makes it a little bit more of a complicated build. On we go. So yes, I'm back. So some parts actually push out, then you can push your plate towards it. Alternatively, use a brick separator, don't matter who it is. This is a fantasy one I just had here. Held it behind and then press the plates that way to try and get some motion at the back to stop everything collapsing down. It was easy done. It's all together now. Done is done. So you can see we've built up the sides nice and round. Everything okay there, and then we're coming to this part here, a 2x10 and then a 2x whatever, 2x4, which is fine. What I've noticed is when I put the 2x10 in with the central core post, it lies slightly lower than the actual beam axes, so they're being pushed slightly inwards. Again, it's firm, it's okay. I've got to put these semicircle pieces in next, and we'll see if they lie flat or not. So that is it made up, and I don't know if you can slightly tell. You can just look at that. Firstly, there's a slight lower indent in them two pieces. Those pair, the four round corners, about more or less sit on the outside edges, which is fine. There is a slight colour discoloration, if you can tell by that, but again, it's on the top of his head. You're not going to really be looking that much down at it. But now we're going to start to make the brim of the hat, and as I say, all in all, it's okay. So you're building up the front and back parts of the brim of the hat. Nice little real solid build. You can see the 3 studs on the side that'll be connected afterwards, but you can see by that exactly the same with the other one. Very, very good. We now connect this to the centre of the hat. So all I did was flip the hat upside down and then just pushed on to the actual connecting stud, and it went on like absolutely, I can't say no more. Part 1 done. Let's get on with the other 2 sides. Right, so here are the other 2 sides of the brim of the hat, which will be left and right as we did front and back earlier. Not a lot worthy of note. I've just got one turned one way and one turned the other way, so as you can see. I will say some things. Right, when we got to pressing on some of these bigger lengths, and they're like 1x10, 1x12, they're a real hard push to get on. In other words, they fit, but the clutch power is much more than Lego. And I'll be honest, I struggled a bit, and eventually I did use the mulking hammer just to get them down flat and perfect. But look, totally solid. They ain't going nowhere. And we've got another little bit to do. I've got to connect them to the hat, then there's another little bits to do, and then it goes on the head. So I'll see you in a bit. So we've just done the final bit to the brim. They just fit to the hat and they go on nicely. I did have to do, see how straight I am here, a little mock here with the piece. I had a piece wrongly fitted in the original build, so I've just made it up with my little bits to make sure it fits okay. You won't see it once it's together, but it's looking good. I'm now going to fit it to the hat and we'll see what's next. Right, there is the hat completed, and that is section 15 if I remember rightly. What can I say? I had an absolute nightmare fitting these side pieces on, and basically where it came to these pieces, they didn't line up right, and I really had to wriggle and wang. I needed the mulking hammer, but I couldn't do it in case, you know, absolute nightmare. And again here, these bigger pieces, exactly the same, but with a bit of perseverance, you can do it. As you can see, it's done. But it was a little bit of a nightmare, as I said, but it's all together now. We've now got to stick it on his head and then add his breathing apparatus to his head, joined to his backpack, and away we go. So we'll see you in a moment. So there is the hat connected to Cad Bane's head, and as you can see, I've used a pair of scissors to balance him up flat so you can get a better picture. He went straight in, manner of finding the centre of the hat, push from the top, push from the bottom, and in he went. And what do you want me to say? Look at that. With his hair on, when he's pushed absolutely straight on the body, he'll look absolutely fantastic. But yes, we've had our little bits of struggles here and there, but he's looking mighty fine with that hat. And he's looking the bounty hunter, the gunslinger. And if you follow Star Wars, especially the Clone Wars series, I believe, that's our Cad Bane. So the next thing we have to finally do for this section is put his head to his body. I'll be right back. Now, I've not exactly got him on the turntable because I've got to fiddle about with the coat for the last real section of Cad, and I'm not going to reveal the full body with the head on either, because, you know, that's going to be, I think, for the full review at the end of the show. But if you've been watching, you know what the body looks like, you know what the head looks like. I will say here again, the connection to the neck, and I don't know if you can see that, it doesn't actually click as such, it more or less just sits in the well. Again, if you're not going to move it, there's not going to be no problem, but if you're intending to move it, you have a problem. I think you have to take the head off, which is going to be difficult because you can see we have added the breathing pipes, but again I will show that in more detail later. I just wanted to show everybody at the end of this section the head is connected with the hat to the body, and you'll find a link to the description of this set, sold by LESDIY, licensed by them, a set designed by Albo Lego, that is. If you follow the link, it'll take you to where you can get Cad Bane for yourself if you would like him. Right, I shall now go for the last part of the actual body build before the pistol, which is the back of the coat. And please, if you like what I'm doing, give us that thumbs up. You can drop some comments in the box if you so desire. And if you want to follow us on this journey, if you want to see Cad in all his glory with his coat and hopefully his pistol in his hand, let's see if we can get it to stick, then hit that subscribe button and we'll be on our way. As you know, my name is Kev. I am Square Ghost, and I will see you all on the flip side.